As We Descend, an equal parts brilliant and punishing roguelike deck builder from first-time developer Box Dragon, is exactly what you'd hope and expect to see from an early access title. What do I mean by that? Well, let's start with the good. Most importantly, As We Descend feels like a fresh mechanical and stylistic take on an increasingly crowded genre. Like the recent and exceptional genre peer Star Vaders, a game I refuse to shut up about, As We Descend injects a degree of dynamic tactical strategy into what would otherwise be a static table of cards. More specifically, there are two zones of combat, backline support and frontline guard. In the guard zone, units are first in line to absorb punishment and will dish out retaliatory auto attacks in response to enemy actions. The support zone, meanwhile, can only be targeted by ranged lob attacks that skip the guard zone, or splash attacks that damage everything, your lantern included. What lantern, I hear you say? Why, only this freaky golden-robed skeleton man tower that looms ominously behind your support zone and is in fact the supportiest zone of all. I'll be honest, I don't really understand what, how, why this lantern exists, but I'm glad it does, because it can apply barrier shields to your units as well as pack a punch itself. Oh, and if it dies, it's game over. Because all enemy actions get telegraphed before they happen in the form of intent tooltips, half of your strategizing will revolve around maneuvering troops through the two zones, out of the way of enemy attacks, while simultaneously lining up your units to maximize their lethality given the handful of cards and action points you're dealt each turn. Speaking of lethality, every few cycles, which are the game's turn intervals, you'll face a challenging siege in the form of a mini-boss or not-so-mini boss. These hulking monstrosities can absolutely level your squad and city if you're not careful and well prepared. But hit them hard enough and they'll stagger, falling over for a couple of turns and revealing weak points you can individually target for extra damage or destruction of a particular perk. The collective end product is a satisfying dance of strategic card combat that you can really sink your tactical teeth into. And when you get full, you'll retreat to your city and enjoy As We Descend's second, arguably equally strategic half. You see, scattered about this rotatable city are 20 or so NPCs that you'll gradually unlock, each providing you a distinct service that you'll need to carefully prioritize given the limited cards in your hand that you'll use to access them. That's right, even in non-combat, As We Descend remains a strategic deck builder. These NPCs all prefer different card types and currencies, chief among them being Force Field, the bubbly blue energy source that protects your city from invaders. Each cycle you can launch an expedition to scavenge for Force Field reactor rods to power up the city's shield, or search for other items that can be used to strengthen your deck. Favor, for instance, is a secondary resource used to play special cards that power up troops, and copper can be cashed in for a variety of things, including single-use combat consumables. I also want to quickly acknowledge As We Descend's style. While the textures look a bit dated, the game's demonic yet kind of fancy theatrical bug enemy designs really impressed me, as did the unsettling orchestral soundtrack and crisp sound effects. But hold on, evil bugs? Humanoid lanterns? A giant underground city? What the actual heck is going on here? Well, I'm afraid we've reached the bad. As We Descend's story in its current state is a jumbled thematic mess that still seems to be figuring itself out. As best I can tell, your city is a giant vault attached to a giant drill used to explore and exploit planetary cores, making you the invader and these flamboyant bugs the invadee. It's never made clear why a steampunk city full of civilians would be the best means of subterranean conquest, but I suppose the premise is cool. As for dialogue, I was excited when, in the game's first few minutes, I was given a choice that resulted in me immediately losing the run, which I suppose is a weird thing to get excited about, but this ended up being the only branching narrative decision I encountered in the entire game. Lastly, As We Descend still needs a good bit of playability polish. In addition to a handful of crashes and bugs, none of which proved game-breaking but all of which proved annoying, there are some devastating difficulty spikes throughout, which can make all of your run's careful preparation feel pretty pointless. While there's no manual save feature, I did realize too late that you can save scum by returning to the menu if a fight goes poorly, as the game will simply reload to the last time you were in your city. It took me several attempts across about 10 hours to reach As We Descend's victory screen, suggesting that the real ending is unlocked through some combination of dissension multipliers. These cryptic in-game difficulty increasers can be toggled on and off along with the various units you'll unlock along the way, but it's unclear what or how many things you'll need active in order to get the true ending. Hey, I don't mind a game that asks you to blindly experiment, but I could see this uncertainty frustrating others. Still, a few presumably fixable gripes aside, As We Descend really impressed me and is worth a go for fans of the genre. I'm giving it a subject to change aggregate megascore of 3.35 out of 5, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the game or my review. Until next time, this is Scope, and thanks for watching.